Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. This morning, we're taking a look at Nigeria's exit from the FATF grey list. And of course, the FATF is the Financial Action Task Force. Of course, it is a non-governmental intergovernmental organization founded in 1989 on the initiative of the G7 to develop policies to combat a lot of financial activities amongst countries. Of course, Nigeria was listed on the list of grey countries on the FATF on February 24, 2023. And on October 24, 2025, Nigeria was removed from that list. What does this portend for the economy as well as financial issues in Nigeria? That's what we intend to take a look at on the program today. And joining the conversation, he's a friend of the house, a big brother to many of us in the studio today. Thank you so much, Lukemon Owolabi, for always finding time to be with us.
Always my pleasure.
On the program. Right. So let's look at FATF. A lot of people really do not even understand what FATF is, and they wonder, what exactly is this all about, and why do we have countries on the grey list? So if you'd like to tell us, FATF, what exactly does it do, especially since it's an intergovernmental organization, that came together to look at how countries can be put on check when it comes to financial issues and financial appropriation in various countries?
Okay. Well, FATF is a Financial Action Task Force, really. And the task force is supposed to try and clean up the system, really, the financial system in the world. As you said, it was under the auspices of the G7 countries, and these are 7 of the most developed countries in the world, the most powerful. The United Kingdom, USA, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and Canada. So under their auspices, it also includes, the European Union as a non-merit member. So they looked at the financial system and said, look, so many countries have strategic weaknesses within their, financial system. They don't have that kind of financial capabilities to ensure that the system is clean. So they now put this out and say, look, let us, because money laundering was becoming a menace, within the financial system. And I said, look, let us set up a body that would formulate policies, to ensure that they combat money laundering within our financial system. That was how they began in 1989. Right. And in 2001, they added terrorism financing because that was also becoming an issue at that time. Later on, they included the counterterrorism, and then the proliferation, for nuclear armaments and everything. Right. So as time goes on, they watch what is going on, and then they essentially want to put a stop to that kind of impunity, within the financial system, essentially to clean it up. Right. So that's exactly what they are trying to do. Okay. So they review countries, because when you have 7 of the most powerful nations on Earth, exactly, and they control the financial system within the world, and they won't tell you not to become a member. They will not say come and become a member or not come and become. But whatever they put out always has credibility. Right. They can influence so many things within the financial system. So they will review your country, because definitely you can only heal a patient that is not ready to die. Right. So you will come to them, you submit yourself to them, and then they review you. So sometimes they have reviewed about 139 countries. About 114 of them have been found to be deficient, having strategic deficiencies in within their system. So at every point in time, they will review you through the peer review mechanism. They do that. And then when they certify you, when you have, because it's like they are prescribing medicine for you because you are sick.
Right.
So they prescribe the medicine for you to take. When they see that you are taking the medicine
then
very
they can
now say, okay, let's leave you out of this.
And this is how they came about the blacklist, which was formerly called the call for action, and of course the grey list, which was called other monitored jurisdictions.
Yeah, jurisdictions under increased monitoring.
So the blacklist and the grey list, of course, called for action, and then if you are a country and then you are placed on either of this list, you know that there's work for you to do, and then you have to also you know, all that you need to do, and then you need to justify the facts that, okay, we're working towards all these things and we intend to exit any of these lists.
That's why I said you can only heal a patient that is not ready to die.
Right. So now that, okay, so now of course we needed to establish that fact. And so if we look at when Nigeria was placed on that list, that was in 2023.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Was it really that at that time things were really bad, even though at that time we had the ICPC, we had the EFCC and other anti-graft agencies who were working assiduously at ensuring that, you know, issues around money laundering, issues around financial misappropriation were being looked into, yet we were placed on that list in 2023.
Yeah, that goes to show that perhaps we are not doing our work well. You know when ICPC was created, it was during the regime of President Obasanjo,
right.
And they were not moving as fast as he expected. He now had to create EFCC. So sometimes you look at the two bodies, they seem to be working, you know,
hand in hand.
Hand in hand. They seem to be doing the same things. So that was also, you know, a great deal of problem. But the thing that bogged them down was actually politics, political interference. So when you have bodies like that are bogged down by political interference, they can hardly work very well for us. So, and that has been the problem for a long time, political interference in whatever they do. Because if you leave them, if they have the autonomy to do whatever they want to do, you'll see that they'll probably walk at their own pace. But most of the time, when they set out to maybe prosecute somebody, and the government of the day says, leave this one for now. Let us do this. You know, so those kind of political interference.
Slow down.
Yeah, it will slow down the activities of those anti-corruption bodies.
Right.
So essentially, that was what happened in 2023, February 2023, when they felt that, look,
the pace your country is working is not the pace we're expecting.
No, you're not doing it right. So in February 2023, Nigeria has done three things because they discovered that it was actually hampering so many things. I mean, if you look at diaspora remittances, for instance, it was affecting the diaspora remittances. About $1 billion of diaspora remittances could not come into Nigeria. You know, I mean, you can imagine what $1 billion can do in a month for a country like Nigeria. So everything was held up there. So even our debit cards were not working. So they had to place all those on lien, sort of. You know, so Nigeria now took it upon itself and said, look, we need to harness the advantages of this global system. So what do we do? So they did three things. First was legislative changes. Then institutional strengthening and transparency. So for legislative change, they had to enact the Anti-Money Laundering
Act,
Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022. So they signed that into law. So that is one. For the strengthening of institutions, they gave financial independence to Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, the NFIU. So that one had, you know, independence, autonomy to really do the work. And then they also look at the cooperation amongst the regulatory bodies, you know, the CBN, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and also the EFCC. So they were now cooperating better. You know,
so there was better synergy.
Yeah, there was better synergy amongst the regulatory bodies. So they could see that. And then the third one was the transparency, because they now had to maintain a register, public register of beneficiaries.
Right.
Of beneficiaries regarding the KAMA. So they now, I mean, it was now open. They could see that, okay, the Securities and Exchange Commission has now said, okay, these are the beneficiaries of shares or stocks or everything within the Securities and Exchange Commission. So you could access it at any time. So that was transparency at its best. So all those three things that worked in favor of Nigeria. Now said, okay, Nigeria seems to be
walking the talk now.
Yeah, they're not
serious
walking the talk.
This.
Yeah. So we'll still continue to monitor them.
Definitely.
We'll still continue to monitor them.
Definitely.
With the peer review mechanism.
Right.
So we'll see. There is an agency they call the International Governmental Agency Action Group.
Okay.
Yeah, for money laundering, against money laundering in West Africa. So that's our own kind of regional body that monitors, on the continent, that monitors whatever you do.
So you mentioned three things in your perspective that really helped Nigeria in getting out of the grey list. But also some industry watchers also looked at, you know, some of the policy, the economic policy of the government and the CBN, and for them this may also have warranted why we're able to get out of the grey list. If you also look at how we're doing economically, again, as against foreign exchange, as against interest rates, as against inflation rates, and what this administration has done in the last 3 years vis-a-vis the other points that you raised, are these also serious points enough to judge that indeed Nigeria was serious about, you know, ensuring that, you know, you get out of the black books of international communities, watching how your financial workings or financial dealings are going? Yeah,
that's the same thing. What I mentioned was a broad outline.
Okay.
You know,
and all of these other
so all those things will come under the CBN.
The monetary policy, the fiscal policy.
Exactly. So all those that the CBN has enacted, they worked in the favor, and then they are also open to the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Right.
So those ones too were doing their own transparently, and then, you know, the EFCC now had the leeway, you know, to walk their talk, to do whatever they want to do, and then do the prosecution as it should be. So all those things were working together. So all those other little things, they come under all these regulatory bodies. So they could see that the regulatory bodies were doing their work. They could sense transparency in what we were doing. So they now discover that, you know, these people are now cooperating, because, I mean, if there's no interagency cooperation, you will not move, you know, which is also some of the things that happened within our own, in the security system, where the Army is not working with the Air Force and the Air Force not working with the Navy. You know, so if the synergy is not there, everything will be broken.
So with what you've you know, spoken about now, and looking at it on the broader perspective, now that of course Nigeria is no longer on that list, and though yes, we're still being monitored, do you see this having a direct impact on FDIs into the country, or is this also able to give investors some kind of confidence or some kind of push to believe once again in the economy of Nigeria?
That's why they went through all this trouble in the first place.
I mean,
because it was hampering.
They could go through the trouble, but then it also might not give, you know, the effect on the international community.
No, it's actually going to give the effect, because that's what you're doing when you are dealing with the G7. You know, you are opening their eyes to so many things, because that shows that the country, when it comes to dealing with anti-money laundering and all other financial stuff that we do, it is no longer under strict monitoring. And the thing that many people do not realize is that it also has impact on individual companies within the country. All those countries, all those companies that have links with Nigeria will definitely have witnessed higher scrutiny within the international system.
Okay.
Yeah, because they will scrutinize you well. Let's say this company is in Nigeria. They will scrutinize you well. There will be a kind of delay for things that you are supposed to do.
Right.
It also, you probably will spend more ordinarily than you would have done if you had that kind of credibility. So even Nigerian companies will enjoy from this. And it's also, you know, about our credibility within the international system. It increases our financial standing. It is good for trade because many countries will now be, you know, free.
Confident enough
they'll be confident to want to do business with us. You know, so all those kind of financial credibility, because it has economic and reputational consequences. So when you remove all that, you will see that most of the things we do in terms of trade, in terms of inflow, in terms of foreign direct investment, they will now, all those people will now have the confidence to say, okay, we can now do business with Nigeria because they have strengthened
all of these
things that has to do with financial capability.
Look, let's quickly look into the banking and financial sector, the effects of this. There was a time that it was so easy to send money, you know, abroad, from abroad to Nigeria. Of course, it wasn't a Culian, but now, of course, all of those things were tightened because also they needed to be sure, what are you sending money for? What is this money for? And all of those things. How will this now affect that? Do you see this delisting as one that could also put a little bit of relaxation in issues around receiving funds abroad or sending funds abroad? Or is it a standard that has come to stay, just again to clean up all the mess that we might have acquired, you know, in time past?
See, definitely it's already having effect. Even it's already having effect. So, see, if you even submit yourself to jurisdictional scrutiny, increase their scrutiny, they are watching you. That's why, you know, we could now use our debit cards abroad.
Right.
So there was a time we could not even use it at all. So now they will place a limit on it. That, okay, maybe for a month you can only access $600, for instance. You can only access $600. And then they will continue to watch us, you know, because they are reviewing what you're doing. So it's not as if when they remove you from that gray list,
then it's over.
It's not over. You can't be complacent. You continue to do what you're doing, you better it. So because they are watching you. So later you'll discover that those who hold our debit cards and want to use it abroad, they'll be able to do $1,000. Later, they'll probably be able to do 2,000 and the rest. That's how it goes. So they're watching you as you make progress. So it's going to have an effect on...
it's going to have an effect overall on the economy.
Definitely.
But then, I mean, if we look at least roughly about 2 years that we stayed on that list, 2023 to 2025, and we've also established here that, I mean, it is not you know, they can't stop monitoring because there are issues still around things like this. So for you, what are some of those things that government needs to strengthen, or structures to put in place, or compliance reforms that we must ensure that we do not let our guards down, so that we do not also, there's not relapse in this? Yeah,
so number one, it has to do basically, you know, with our monetary policies. Fiscal policies. They want to see transparency in what we do. They want to see that we are not cutting deals, you know, to the detriment of so many things. They want to see what the CBN is doing. They want to see how we, you know, conduct our forex markets,
okay.
You know, all those things. Basically, it's about transparency in what we do. They don't want underhand dealings. They don't want people using so many means to bring in dirty money so that you come and launder it. They want to see how you have strengthened your mechanisms to detect all that. So when the EFCC comes out every day and says, look, we arrested 320 people that were doing 419 in a certain place. They are watching because they can see that, okay, And the EFCC will come out again and the following week and say we have arrested 79 people here.
So all of these things
yeah, they are counting because they are watching you. So, and when you see that you are prosecuting them, you are getting convictions. So, because when you do all those things step by step, it's a way of saying we are ready to do business. And then they watch all those things. They watch even the judicial system. Yeah. Is being watched,
right?
You know, because people.
What kind of ruling are you giving?
Exactly. What kind of rulings are you giving when it comes to, you know, business transactions? They want to see how you have strengthened your the mechanism, mediatory, you know, mediation mechanism that has to do with businesses. They are watching you every day. So you cannot rest on your ears. Right. So you must continue to strengthen all these things, and you must show transparency. So by the time you're doing that, it becomes a culture. Right. So when it becomes a culture, they now said, okay, yeah, Nigeria is walking. They're walking the talk. Right. So that's how the international system monitors you, because many people are doing business with you. So when people complain to you that some Nigerians did this, some Nigerians did that, they are also taking note. Right. So they want to see, because they know that some people will do it, but what are you doing
to curtail?
Exactly. What are you doing to curtail all those things? Because I mean, it's not only in Nigeria that it happens; it happens everywhere.
As we wrap up this conversation, I'm sure a lot of people will also ask, how does this translate to small business owners or the ordinary Nigerian? You know how sometimes we hear things and we think kokomi. How does it con everybody?
Everybody.
How does this really affect everybody?
Many people, they want to bring in goods from US, from China, from everywhere. They want to bring in goods, and then it takes a lot of time for them to be able to do that. Because when they say that you have links with Nigeria, the kind of scrutiny that you will go through, you'll be discouraged sometimes. Right. The kind of cost that you will incur, which will not incur ordinarily. Right. The kind of things that you will go through, the kind of frustration that you meet along the way, just because you want to import goods from someplace into Nigeria. So when you discover that all those impediments are being lessened, then you will know that something is actually happening, because it will reduce your cost of importation. It will reduce your cost, and then you now say, okay, and then the ease of doing it will be better. So you will now discover that, oh, okay, I thought this thing did not concern me, so now I know that it actually concerns me. Right. So that kind of person will also work to ensure that the status quo remains. Okay. We don't go back to where we are coming from, because we have left Egypt now. We are going to the promised land.
Let's stay in the promised land.
Yeah, let us stay in this promised land. Let's not go back to Egypt. Okay. So that's exactly how it affects everybody. Right. It will touch you. All those people making remittances. We even to send in money to your people here through the banking system.
You pay for it.
You pay for it. You know, all those kind of things. So when we have, you know, a kind of conducive environment for you to do it, it will be seamless. It will be seamless. And when it's seamless, everybody will just.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave this conversation here this morning. Thank you so much, Lukemon Owolabi, for finding time to help us break this down and what it really means to everybody. Again, we thank you for your thoughts.
Yeah, pleasure.
All right, that's the more to take on this side of the table this morning. We've listened to our guest, and of course, it is the responsibility of everyone to ensure that the global rating and global standard of Nigeria is maintained. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Adebimpe and Joy will be here with the Lagos conversation.